This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Tuesday, March 17th, 2026 in the morning. Today we examine the confirmed supply chain loop of the GlassWorm campaign, the internal environment breach that wiped tens of thousands of devices at Stryker, and Hua Hong's tactical shift to 7-nanometer production. We also analyze Ethereum's proposal for a dynamically available protocol, the judicial block on vaccine policy changes of the Centers for Disease Control, and a framework for training artificial intelligence to feel the weight of its mistakes through emotional cost functions. The analysis of the GlassWorm campaign has reached a critical milestone, exactly 24 hours after the initial samples were made live. We have confirmed the full supply chain loop, revealing a sophisticated multi-stage infection process. The primary mechanism involves DLL injection and the hijacking of Google Chrome through the abuse of Component Object Model, or COM, interfaces. By leveraging these interfaces, the actors can manipulate browser behavior without triggering standard heuristic alerts. The technical detail of this loop shows that the attackers are not just stealing data, but are actively modifying the browser's trust environment to maintain persistence. This is a highly targeted operation, focusing on the integrity of the software update path. The confirmation of the supply chain loop suggests that the initial entry point was a compromised development tool, allowing the GlassWorm samples to be signed and distributed as legitimate updates. The security community is dissecting the recent attack on the medical technology giant, Stryker. This incident resulted in the remote wiping of tens of thousands of employee devices. The most significant finding is that the attackers did not use traditional malware. Instead, they compromised Stryker's internal Microsoft environment and leveraged legitimate administrative tools to execute the wipe. By gaining control of the management plane, the threat actors issued commands that the devices interpreted as authorized instructions from the IT department. This highlights a shift from file-based attacks to identity-based infrastructure manipulation. It demonstrates that the security of a global fleet now rests entirely on the protection of the central management credentials. This is an update to our ongoing coverage of infrastructure as a target, where the tools designed for maintenance are turned into weapons for mass operational disruption. Hua Hong, China's second-largest chipmaker, is moving forward with 7-nanometer production. This development occurs despite ongoing United States chip export restrictions. Technical reports indicate that Hua Hong is successfully utilizing existing lithography equipment to reach these smaller nodes through advanced multi-patterning techniques. This move is a strategic attempt to secure a domestic supply of high-performance silicon for the Chinese market. While the yields for these 7-nanometer chips may initially be lower than those of global competitors, the ability to produce them at scale represents a major bypass of international technology barriers. This shift places Hua Hong in a position to support domestic artificial intelligence accelerators and high-end mobile processors that were previously dependent on foreign foundries. Research led by Luca Zanolini has proposed a new consensus protocol for Ethereum to address network availability. The design introduces a two-layer architecture. The first layer is a fast, available chain known as the heartbeat. This heartbeat is produced by a small, randomly sampled committee of validators. The second layer is a separate finality mechanism that trails behind the heartbeat. This ensures that even if a large portion of the network goes offline, the heartbeat can continue to process transactions. This development is a response to the need for a protocol that can remain functional under extreme network strain or during large-scale validated partitions. Under the radar, a new framework called OpenClawRL has emerged, which changes how we train autonomous agents. This is a signal from the future of reinforcement learning. Instead of using complex numerical rewards, OpenClawRL allows developers to train agents simply by talking to them. The system treats every user reply, tool output, and change in the graphical user interface as a live learning signal. By recovering these next-state signals, the agent learns in real time from natural interaction. Related to this is a new research paper titled Emotional Cost Functions for AI Safety. It proposes that agents should learn from mistakes through a simulated form of suffering. Unlike standard penalties, these cost functions are designed to make the agent feel the weight of irreversible consequences. This approach aims to move beyond rule-based alignment, creating a qualitative sense of risk that reshapes how the agent evaluates catastrophic outcomes. In the biotechnology sector, GSK is facing pressure from United States senators regarding its inhaler pricing and distribution practices. This follows a ruling by a federal judge that has placed a stay on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s vaccine recommendation panel appointments at the CDC. The ruling effectively blocks immediate changes to childhood vaccine schedules, citing procedural concerns. In world news, the conflict in the Middle East has escalated significantly. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz confirmed that separate strikes on Tuesday killed Iran's national security chief, Ali Larijani, and the Basij commander, Gholam Reza Soleimani. This follows the death of the supreme leader and marks a total decapitation of the previous Iranian leadership structure. The community is currently focused on the dangers of cloud misconfiguration. Chatter highlights that simple mistakes in public storage permissions remain the primary cause of major data leaks. We are also tracking a critical vulnerability in ConnectWise Screen Connect, where actors with access to server-level cryptographic material can gain unauthorized elevated privileges. In emerging tools, we see the rise of Nuggets by NeoVertex, which introduces an assistant with holographic memory, and the Pstrs AI workflow, which aims to bring engineering rigor to what they call vibe coding. Finally, there's growing alarm over surveillance pricing. The Washington Post and Instacart are reportedly using algorithms to set different subscription and service prices based on a user's zip code and income. This practice of using personal data to pick a price is now the subject of proposed legislation in 12 states. This concludes the Synthetic Signal Report for Tuesday morning.